Good morning, everyone. My name is Chetan Singh Gill, and I welcome you to today's webinar. I'll be your host for today's webinar. Today's webinar is a part two of yesterday's webinar, which is on NDPS Act, Law and Procedure, which will be continued by Mr. Pradeep Mehta, sir, who is a faculty member at Chandigarh Judicial Academy. This webinar is presented by the help of Chandigarh Judicial Academy. It's been organized by Chandigarh Judicial Academy with collaboration with SCC Online. I'm sure everyone knows how this webinar will be going. I'll just repeat the same thing just to bring everyone on the same page. Mr. Pradeep Mehta, sir, would detail the entire session like he did yesterday. And once the session is over, we'll have the question answer round. The question answer section is already available on your screen. You can put questions over there. I would request members to please hold on to your questions. Let Mehta sir complete his session because most of the time your question is already answered by the speaker. So I think without any further ado, I would request Pradeep Mehta sir to session and then we can take the question answer in later part. So Mehta sir, please, now it's live.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I welcome you to the second session of NDPS Act Law and Procedure Part 2. So yesterday we have dealt with some definitions, then presumptions, and then the most important part of the recovery cases, that is link evidence. And now today we will be dealing with two major aspects which are there in NDPS Act. One pertaining to the personal search and the second inventory part. So I start with personal search. Deals with personal search. It consists of only 4 subclasses. Were like first was there that how the personal search is to be conducted. Second was that when you get searched in the presence of gazetted officer or magistrate, then he is to be detained for that time, and then when the gazetted officer or the magistrate comes and he sees that there is no ground for search, he can release him, and if he sees that yes, there is a ground for search, then he can take the search. And the fourth was that female should be searched by female only. Now this is very relevant to the aspect that what personal search is, why this clause was added. So we will be dealing with it. That what is the first clause? That when any officer, now please read the and italics, duly authorized under section 42. Now first part is duly authorized under 42. Now this section will be applicable only at that time. Is about to search any person. Now see, it relates only to the search of person, second important part. Now if the search is to be conducted either under section 41, 42, 43, this section will apply to all the cases. Sometimes it is said that 43 is on the highway and or a public place, whereas 42 is in a vessel or a building or something like that. So this is only with regard to the authorization of the person and not where the search is being conducted. So this is when search is to be conducted under section 42, 41 or 43 of the person. Now what is required? He shall, if such that is mandatory from the wording. How it was dealt with, we will see too with the going on process when we will be talking on it. If such person so requires. Now this is the catchword, if the person so requires. Take such person without unnecessary delay to the nearest gazetted officer or any of the departments mentioned in section 42 or the nearest magistrate. So this is the important part, and I will like to tell you that this section alone has two constitutional benches to its credit, and the third constitutional bench, of course, not strictly on section 52 only, but also on 42. So there are three constitutional benches in which this section has been interpreted. Now the first case, which was section, was Balbir Singh's case, State of Punjab versus Balbir Singh. This is very important case which was there in 1994. If we come back to the section wording, if such person so requires, so it is his requirement. The reference was made to the case of US court, Miranda versus Arizona, in which the law laid down was that before the accused is interrogated by the police, he must be made aware of his right that you can keep silent if you so like. So now here it is there that if he so requires. Now this authority came with the plea that yes, it, if you so desire, if you can the which is taking the search. Now thereafter, it was also there that what is the now effect of non-compliance to this, that if he so requires and he is not taken. Now this speaks of two things. That first, that failure to inform. If he is not informed that you can be so searched if you so require, one part. And the second failure will be that yes, if he says that yes, I want to be taken to the magistrate or the gazetted officer, both or single is there, single or both are there, it will amount to non-compliance of section 50. And as we have seen that the word used is shall, they said it is mandatory. Now, what is the effect of non-compliance? No, it has been said that it is non-compliance. If there is a failure to inform him of the right, and if he exercises right or his so requires, then failure to take him to the gazetted officer or the magistrate will affect the case and prosecution and of the prosecution and vitiate the trial. Whole of the trial will be vitiated. Not only a part, whole of the trial will be vitiated. Now here, very important thing is there that even today, in some cases, some judgments, this case is being followed that whole of the trial will be vitiated. No, the law has changed. How it has changed, we will be coming just now to that part. But what happened in the meantime when this case was decided in 1994? What happened? There was another case of Income Tax Department, Purna Mal's case versus Director of Income Tax, in which it was said that if there is a departure procedural law or the procedure which is there for effecting the income tax rate is not followed, even then the documents which are recovered or the money which is recovered cannot be overlooked. Based on this case, since that was constitutional bench, that is one Muhammad Sayyid of Gujarat and A.M. Abdul Rahman Musa versus State of Kerala. One part was this, and the other was State of Himachal Pradesh versus cases. It was held that that case will not have any application because there it is income tax rate, and secondly, it can't be said in specific authority of Balbir Singh that we can look to that. But in State of Himachal Pradesh versus Prithvi Chand, what was laid down? That no, what is required is that if there is a procedure lapse, it overlooked that what material, what evidence has come on record. And this gave birth to the constitutional bench of State of Punjab versus Baldev Singh. the fact that whether this is mandatory or directory did not go into this aspect, because the reference point was that whether the trial will vitiate and it, but they held that yes, failure to inform the concerned person of the right which is coming out from the section 50, and then if he so desires that yes, I be taken to the, or I want to be searched before the gazetted officer or the magistrate, then non taking him to that officer or that magistrate, it will render the recovery and the sentence of the accused bad in law only to the extent as it has been recovered from the personal search. Not no. See, what is the difference between the two? In first part, it was that whole of the trial will vitiate. This was Balbir Singh. But now Baldev Singh has categorically said that no, whole trial will not vitiate, but only that part of recovery which is from personal search, because the deviation is being made with the procedure which has been specially laid down for the personal search, that will go. Now, since this was done, the section was amended and almost the whole of the law which was settled down in Baldev Singh was scuttled down by subclass 5. That when an officer duly authorized under section 42 has reasons to believe that it is not possible to take that person, so as said, instead of taking such person to that, he can proceed to search the person under section 100 of the CRPC. That is, joining the two inhabitants of the locality, search can be conducted. Joining two persons from the area, search can be conducted if it is necessary. Right? It is feared that the person will part away with that property for which he is to be searched. Now, after this, whether to follow this or to the authority Baldev Singh, the second bench, Karnail Singh of Haryana was there, but now in the court, it is to be proved that taken by giving him the option, by telling him his right that if he so requires and all that. The authority Baldev Singh said writing. Need not to be only in writing, it may be oral also. But this fact has to be proved beyond reasonable doubt in the court that this compliance was done. And each case will depend upon its own evidence which is led in the court. This was so sad. Then in Karnail Singh, it was said that yes, though for an emergent situation, that property, the provision has been made, but the law which is generally in general has been laid down in Baldev Singh's case, that is to be followed. So it means that will prevail, and this safeguard is to be given only in emergent situations. It is not that in all cases it is to be complied with. Now, what happened here at this stage? Now, since it was left open that compliance can be, no, as I just told you, that compliance is to be looked into by the court by going into the facts and circumstances of the case and evidence led by the prosecution. So there can be an entry in the case diary. There can be a written consent memo, or there can be two witnesses who are there of the recovery. They can also simultaneously depose that yes, he was asked by the IO and he said, no, my search be taken by you. So the compliance is to be shown to the court. Then on the basis of this, again, two set of cases were there which were decided by Honorable Supreme Court. Those are Joseph Fernandez on one part One Joseph Fernandez versus state of Goa and Prabha Shankar Dubey versus state of MP. You know what happened in both these cases, which were decided at different times, at the Supreme Court said the person is made aware of the fact and he gives a consent. That means it. Now, what was required? A word given was to the fact that how it is to be proved that if it is shown that there was a substantial compliance to the law or the requirement which is there in section 51, then this can be a valid ground to say that yes, the compliance to the right or which is there in case 51 has been there. But Shrimati Krishna Kanwar versus Arias Thakarain versus state of Rajasthan in 2004 itself, a different view was given. They said this is his right. A right must be disclosed to the accused and he should be asked to exercise his right, that whether he wants to exercise it in favor of the gazetted officer, magistrate. Yes, if not, then the IO is free to take the search. But it must be borne on mind, record, not only to say that there was a substantial compliance, but there was an actual compliance by disclosure of the right. Now here I would like to add one thing, that yes, this is a very important part which now I am telling, that if he does not say that I be taken to the magistrate or the gazetted officer, then IO or the police officer is free to take the search. Because if we remind ourselves of the case Khatri versus state of Bihar part 2, where it is there that legal aid is to be given to the person who does not have any counsel, the court can only ask that you can have the legal aid counsel. But if he says, no, I don't want any legal aid counsel, I will defend my case of my own, then court is not to come to his rescue by giving him, or court cannot thrust upon the that yes, you have to take the legal aid of the legal aid counsel. So same is here. If he does not want to be taken to the magistrate or the gazetted officer, the search can be taken by the, of course, police officer. Now this dispute that whether substantial compliance or actual compliance by disclosing him the right should be there constituted or gave birth to the third constitutional bench, that is Vijay Singh Chanduba Jadeja versus state of Gujarat, in which whole of the decision which were there in Baldev Singh's case, not Balbir Singh's case, Baldev Singh case, that was reiterated in this case. But simultaneously it was said that it is mandatory, because they said we don't want to go into the fact that whether it is mandatory or discretionary, because this point is not referred to us. But they said that it is mandatory because now it was to say by the constitutional bench that whether substantial compliance will be enough or a strict compliance will be necessary. And now again it was said failure to comply with the provision would render the recovery of the illicit article suspect and vitiate the conviction if the same is recorded only on the basis from the person of the accused. Again, meaning thereby the personal search, if that is there, then that is bad. Only. Now, parting with this was laid down in this authority that section 50 gives an option to the empowered officer to take such person. Gives an option to empowered officer. I differ to little extent that it is not option of the empowered officer to take such person. either before the nearest gazetted officer or the magistrate, but it is the option of the accused which he can exercise that whether I should be so taken or not. Anyhow, but in order to impart authenticity, transparency, and creditworthiness, the entire proceeding in the first instance, an endeavor should be to produce the suspect before the nearest magistrate, which has now been given a clear verdict in S.R.F. Khan's case. Now, anyhow, then what has been said again in this case regarding how it is to be proved? How it is to be proved? They have said whether or not the procedure prescribed has been followed and the requirement of section 50 has been met with is a matter of trial and would not be possible, nor it is feasible to lay down a framework that yes, in this way it is to be proved. Each case is to be assessed on its own facts, own evidence that whether the compliance was there or not. So this is now open to the courts. Now, there is another case, Suresh and others versus State of Madhya Pradesh, which I would like to refer in order to tell you that what type of consent memo now which is being prepared by the investigating officers should be. Now, if it is so that yes, it is your right that if you so desire, you can be taken to magistrate or to gazetted officer. But if you don't want, or I can take your search. Either if you don't want to, or I can take your search. No, that memo is not correct. A question may be put that why it is not correct. He's being made aware of his right. He is being asked that you can access gazetted officer if you so desire for the search. He has entered himself as a third person that you have to choose out of these three persons. No. Whenever it is written in a consent memo, this memo is wrong and it will be held as non-compliance to the section. So it should be only containing two persons only, that if you so desire, by exercising this right, which is to the gazetted officer or to says that no, I don't want to be taken to any one of these two persons. You can take my search if you so desire. Then his statement can be recorded, consent memo, and his signatures can be obtained. Then it is okay. But if the third person is entered in the body of the consent memo, that you can be searched either by taking before magistrate or gazetted officer or by me, then it is wrong. This is so held in Suresh and others versus State of Maharashtra. Then this is R.F. Khan, which we have discussed now, that relying on this, it is said that it is mandatory for the prosecution to prove that search was made from the appellant in the presence of magistrate or a gazetted officer. Now, a joint memo. This is also very important. Say there are two accused. One is driving the motorcycle and other is the pillion rider. Recovery of the contraband is there from the pillion rider. Now, consent memo of both the persons is recorded by one consent memo. Consent is obtained by one consent memo. That will not be valid. This was so held in the state of Rajasthan versus Parmanand and others, that a joint communication of the right available under section 51 of the NDPC Act to the accused would frustrate the very purpose of the section 50. Now, in this case, Parmanand's case, two cases have been referred. One is very important case, Dalip Singh's case. And in this case also, what has been also held, that when a recovery is there from, say, a part which is not personal search, from anything which is not a personal search, and personal search is also carried, irrespective of the fact that whether anything is recovered from personal search or not. If recovered, so also, if not recovered, then even then, whole of the recovery will be vitiated, relying on see, Dalip Singh, it was relied on case was Balbir Singh. So this came that when there is a recovery from scooter, dicky, and also pocket of having that scooter, whole of the recovery will go. If personal search is not complied with. But what Baldev Singh said, what Vijay Singh Chanduba Jadeja had said, that only that part of sentence will go which has been there on the personal search, not otherwise. So now this matter has been set at rest by the Authority of State of Punjab versus Baljinder Singh in 2019, that as regards the applicability of requirement, it is well settled that the mandate of Section 8 is confined to the personal search and not to the search of vehicle, container, or premises. So any amount of contraband which has been recovered from personal search, only that will go. Not if it has been recovered from scooter, car, truck, say anything, building, vessel. So that will be a recovery for which the person can be convicted. Now, when we started with the case, section 50, at that time we had read the words, when any officer, section 42. Now 42, who is a duly authorized officer under section 42, who is to information, with whether from personal knowledge or from secret information, he is confirmed that something is coming or information is there with him that some recovery can be effected from this person who is coming with contraband, then that is applicable only. It is not applicable section 50, please note it, it is not in chance recovery cases. Say now, if some recovery has been there, say a pistol has been recovered, and after arrest, personal search is taken of the person. Contraband is also recovered. It may be used for his personal use. It may be 2 grams of opium. Then that will not be required. Section 50. Because chance recovery has no application. This section has no application. This has been so held in Balbir Singh's case. This has been so held in Baldev Singh's case. This has been so held in other cases also. Then what is person? Now we are left with only that search of a person. What is search of a person? Now, you know, when we were reading the section, subsection 4, no female shall be searched except the female. Now, this gives some inclination that why this provision is there. That in personal search, body of the person is to be touched. When the body of the person is to be touched, then it will be a personal search. No, definitely after discussing the dictionary meaning and others, the authority state of Himachal Pradesh versus Pawan Kumar had laid beautifully that person is a human being with appropriate covering. Appropriate covering will include footwear and the other articles which are worn while moving one's own house outside. So all these coverings, footwear, turban, cap, everything that will be amounting to personal search if that is to be checked out. But if that is not to be checked, meaning thereby if he is carrying a poly bag, if he is carrying a shoulder bag, if he is carrying a hodl on his head, so those are not personal search, my dear friends and the officers. What has been said in this case, that what moves with the body without extra force to be applied by the body to that part, that will be personal search only. So meaning thereby, if I am wearing a coat on my body and there is a pocket, then that will be personal search. But if I am having that coat in a, say, a bag which is given with by the tailor or by the uh, company, and carrying it in my hand, carrying my coat on my hand in which there is, then that will not be a personal search. So immediately the difference, and there are several cases, like there are 6 cases which Abdul Rashid Ibrahim Mansoori, in this gunny bag was there, Madan Lal versus State of Himachal Pradesh, scooter article premises were there, Gurbaksh Singh katta on the shoulder, then Kanhaiya Lal bag in the hand, then Bira Kishore car in which the accused was lying on plastic bag, and in Sarju Das in which the bag was hanging on the scooter. So all these were held to be that these are not personal search. So I think brief sketch that how this section is there and what were the benches and how the decisions changed from vitiating of the trial, total trial, and only to the personal search recovery, how the cases have moved. So now we will be coming to the second part, disposal of seized drugs. This is very important. I will be trying to bit precise because I want to give you time for questions. Section 52A deals with the disposal of seized narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. The most relevant in this is that if we read the heading, disposal of seized narcotic drugs, the main aim of this section is disposal of seized narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. Where if we go for section 52, that is disposal of seized drugs and accused and drugs, contrabands. Now, this section is added subsequently. And in 2014, this was amended by addition of controlled substances and conveyances. Very important, the part of this section is conveyances. Now, the conveyances are also to be produced for the disposal. If it is to be so produced, inventory is to be so prepared, it is to be produced before the court for the certification of the inventory, then very important part, that can it be given on spurdari? No. To my mind, no. Because the conveyance which has inventory will be given for use to anyone, even it may be his owner. Yes, it can be disposed. How it is to be disposed, it is to be seen by the committee, not by the magistrate, not by the special judge also. Because three points have been laid down in authority, which we will be just discussing. That is very important, Mohanlal's case. So any to be done whenever a drug, which is psychotropic substance, narcotic drug, or controlled substance, or a conveyance has been seized, it is to be forwarded to the officer in charge of the nearest police station, and who will prepare the inventory and will give the inventory to the court for certification. What is the purpose? Now, when disposal is there, if the disposal is not there, case property is to be produced before the court in all circumstances. If the case property is not produced, then the case will be fatal to the case. But yes, if there is a disposal certificate and the material which has been there, that is inventory, certified inventory, photographs of the case property. Of course, sometimes it is with the accused also. Accused photographs are taken, that he may not deny that these are not my materials. And the third, of course, the representative sample which has been taken by the court. All the three are the primary evidence after the disposal. After the disposal, not before the disposal. If it is said that yes, it is a primary disposal, we need not to produce the case property which is lying in the malkhana. No, only after the disposal is there. So this is a very important part. And then this is certification of the correctness of the inventory, taking in the presence of such magistrate photographs of such drugs or substances and certifying such photographs as true, and allowing to draw representative samples of such drugs or substances in the presence of such magistrate and certifying the correctness of list of samples so drawn. Now, with regard to drawing of samples, first by the government in narcotic department, instructions were issued. I will say directions were issued by the directorate that how the samples are to be taken. In that, 2 samples were said to have been drawn from the spot, or each parcel, each part of the recovery. Say there are 3 parts, then from all the 3 packets, 2 samples from each one is to be taken. Now that was the law. That was laid down in 189 instructions. Another set of instructions was issued, but we don't want to go to in that detail because that has been superseded by the directions issued in 2015, 16th of January. Said is that yes, first according to Annexure A, which is there with regard to inventory only, the inventory will be certified. Or the compliance of part 2, this which is there, an application in subsection 3 should be made, which will be decided immediately in accordance with Annexure 2, A2. Now see, this came up before question in the case of Union of India versus Mohanlal. Very important case, in which though yes, how the disposal is to be done, they lay down 3 different formulas. The date which was mentioned, the second thereafter, which have been so decided, even revisions up to Supreme Court have been finalized. Those should be disposed of by taking the charge. And the third, in which the cases are still pending, recovery is there after this, then in that case, the disposal committee is to be given the charge of the case by the magistrate, that is, it be produced before the disposal committee who will dispose of the articles. And that is the concern of the disposal committee. But now the very important part is in para 11 of the authority, in which seizure and sampling has been said. Now see, in this case, what Supreme Court has said that these 2 standing orders, one dated, this was superseded and we have discussed this. Then what they have said that this notification and the law. Now law says immediately it will be produced before the subsection 2, which we have just read, before the court. And the court without any delay will allow the application of which application for the disposal of the articles by doing 3 things: certifying the inventory, taking of the photographs, and taking of the representative sample. But now they have said that no, it is to be first, it is to be the certification of the inventory, and then after 30 days, when this report is received of the sample that what this was, then the continuation of the in that part, as per Annexure A2, the request will be made. When is in juxtap, what they have said that they are nothing more than they are bound to create confusion. This is in the authority, but the continuance of the statutory notification in the present form is bound to create confusion instead of helping them in discharge of their duties. Now they have given a direction to the central government. They will re-examine the matter and come with the suitable steps. But no, the concern was also of the court in this case that all the states, all the state polices are not they will be. Hello.
Sir, your PPT has been, it says hold on, looks like something went
Yes,
wrong.
I don't know. Again, today something has went wrong.
No, sir, you're back, sir. I think just go back to your PPT, sir.
No.
Just go back to your PPT. Just open your PPT again. I think the PPT has been is hiding under this window. Sir, don't close it. Don't close it. Minimize it, sir. You can minimize it. No, sir. Don't touch it.
Okay.
It's stop sharing the screen as well, sir. You gotta share the screen as well again, sir. Click on the same button again. The same.
No, it has come. It has come, I think.
So you have to click on that icon and then click on the left side. It says desktop. Click on the left side first window which says desktop. Is Aman there or should I call Aman?
No, you should call Aman. Aman is not here. Okay. I think.
Just a sec. So the same icon that you have clicked at the last sharing icon, just click on that and then select the left, select the bottom से दो तीन window आ रही होंगी तो just select the first window.
I have not. Now, is it available?
No, sir.
The person you're calling.
Hello.
Sir, Aman ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੁਲਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ? Aman phone ਚੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਹਾ Aman. Is there a way that you can call Aman?
Yes. No, you करे
I think so, everything is okay, but just the screen sharing has been off. That's it. So in the meantime, he's not as he's not available right now. What I'll do is I'll help you out with it.
No problem. No. The Supreme Court should taken.
The person you're calling.
Sir, Mehta sir, we can't really understand. We can't really understand anything. So you can switch off you can switch off your video. Click on the.
My video, my only screen showing us sharing the slide.
Yeah, no, sir. Your video is still on. I can't see your screen right now. And
now it's okay.
So now I think now I can't see your video, which is okay. And now, sir, just click on that the center option with जिथे तुसी click किया है ना video ले. वो तो बाद जिरी तीजा चौथा number आएगा, which says share. So click on that. थल्ले हुन हाँ जी sir, हाँ जी आ गया sir. Now sir, open your PPT sir. I will be able to see it sir.
I am. No.
Aman आ गया सर?
Aman पे आ गया.
अच्छा
सर आ गया. Now he's trying to.
Yeah, sir, the screen share कर दो एक जरा. Sir, the video आ गई. Sir, the screen share कर दो एक जरा. PPT share कर दो.
हेलो.
आ रही से एक मिनट.
PPT आई गई.
सर PPT हाले शेयर हो ही नहीं है अभी तक. PPT खोलती हो सी.
हाँ खोल दी. शेयर.
शेयर डेस्कटॉप कितना है सर? PPT मेरे को आ नहीं रही से. अमन डेस्कटॉप शेयर कितना है ना?
हेलो.
हाँ जी सर.
आई थी PPT जी.
सर एक मिनट रुक जाओ. आई थिंक मैं कुछ कर रहा है तो मैं देखता हूँ सर. एक मिनट रुक जाओ. गिव मी 1 मिनट.
राइट जी.
अमन मैंने उठे कर रहा है.
Aman is standing by my side.
Just give me a minute. I think I'll just fix it from. I'll try fixing from my side. Just a minute.
हाँ. पर चलते चलते
रुक गया. I think sir we will be up in 2 minutes. Just give me a minute. We'll be up in 2 minutes.
Oh, sure, sir.
Sure. Yes, sir. So now I can see your PPT.
Okay. Can they? हाँ. Hello.
Sir, I can hear you. Please continue, sir.
You can hear me?
Yes,
PPT
sir.
is also available?
PPT is also available, sir.
Okay, right. Should I continue now?
Please, sir.
Thank you.
Sir.
Now, at this stage, when they said that central government should do something by re-examining the matter, the MS Curie and the court, they came to the conclusion that in all these states, since one procedure was not being followed, from the day onwards, this authority was given. Every contraband which is seized must be brought before the court for taking the samples. The samples will be taken in the court. Now this will give rise to a new fact that only inventory of the recovered articles after sealing that will be prepared. No form ammonati, because that is not to be prepared. If it is to be prepared, it is to be prepared only by writing the names and all that. Now that will be brought to the court. And if so, then why? Because when sample is to be taken, then only form ammonati is to be filled. Thereafter, because that is a document which is to be sent to, only inventory will be prepared after to the chemical examiner. Then that will be brought to court. Their samples will be taken in the presence of the court by the IO or by the SHO who has brought the material to the court. And then thereafter, after taking out the samples therefrom, they will be sealed either with the seal of the court or by any seal which the magistrate tells that this seal be affixed. And then along with that, sample seal sheet will be prepared, form amenity will be filled, completed thereafter, and everything, photographs, then samples, representative samples, extra will be taken. And then one representative sample can be retained by the court in judicial malkhana, and other sample and the bulk can be given to the police authorities, that it be deposited in the malkhana, and whenever called by the Drugs Disposal Committee, DDC, it should be given to them. So this is the main part of this inventory part and section 52A. And I think that this will be now understandable that how the proceedings are to be taken in this case. I think I close the theory part or the discussion part.
So, thank you so much, sir. I think we can
Welcome.
Put your video, and so I think PPT has been okay. So I can take off the PPT for the audience.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. So thank you so much.
Welcome.
Same thing like yesterday, you did, you completed the entire thing well before time. Even we had some hiccups. Even then, you managed to complete on time. So we have a few questions already. We have 2 questions right now. So I'll start with those, and in the meantime, we'll have more questions,
Please.
and that I can share as and when it comes. So the first question is about the can the inventory certified by magistrate be corrected later on the request of the prosecution after sending the remand papers to the special judge? If yes, then how and when and by whom?
See, whatever prepared. See, it is a what inventory is. It is of the parts which are there. That is sample seal sheet. What was that? What are the residues? What are the representative samples? Number of representative samples. And once that is signed, simultaneously, why I am saying no? Simultaneously, a judicial order is to be passed on. Try to understand, please, officers, that simultaneously an order is to be passed. Now that is now judicial. If you change the inventory frequently, how you can change that order? And tomorrow the discrepancy which is there in the order may put you in trouble, that why it was subsequently changed, even on the application of the police. So I doubt that this can't be changed, because inventory is to be prepared not by the court. This is very important. This is to be prepared by the investigating officer or the SHO. And it is to be certified by the magistrate, who will be recording simultaneously as the process is going on in his order that what he is doing. Then how he can subsequently on the request change that? I think no. This is my answer. Yes. Yes, please.
Oh, so sorry. My
Hello.
mic was muted. My mic was muted. Sorry, sir. So I said
whether I was audible throughout. Whether I was audible
you were
throughout,
not
please.
audible in the starting. You were not audible in the starting, but I think that thing was cleared out in the last.
I was not audible.
No, sir. You were audible, but only in the starting few seconds you were not audible. But then you were audible, sir.
Right.
I'll also request the person who has asked the question, if your answer is not, you've not got your answer, please mention it in the chat.
Yes, he can again mention it, and I will be happy to repeat it.
Sure.
I think my PPT is now on display.
No, sir. PPT is not on display. I have taken it off, sir.
No, my screen is showing that PPT is
Yes, your
display.
screen will show, but if the audience can't see your screen, audience can only see your face right now, sir.
Okay, please.
Moving to the next question, sir. The question
Yes,
is
please.
that X is a registered owner of a car. Y is
X is an
apprehended
owner.
in that car. X is the owner of the
Yes,
car. Y is apprehended in that car while having 3 bags of poppy husk.
right.
Y applied for a sapurdari on the basis of affidavit in his favor. Can the vehicle be given to Y or application is to be dismissed?
See, Y does not have any right to get the vehicle on Spurdari because it is only the owner. Because
Yes, sir.
there are certain restrictions which are there to be placed in the case that it will be produced, it will not be sold, it will not be parted with. After the amendment in 2014 of section 52A, in which conveyances have been added for disposal, I think the courts should not give the vehicle because the law does not permit so. It cannot be given on Spurdari, to my mind. Though there are authorities to the other side also. I will say, as yesterday I was saying, that for bailable there are several authorities. So, but here, as per the intent of the legislation and the wording of the law section, it is clear that it is to be disposed of. And then it is to be confiscated. The money, if money is there, money is to be confiscated. If vehicle is there, it is to be. Yes, of course, it comes to that no, there was no case or he is acquitted. Then the same will be returned to him if he so claims. That is a subsequent part. But it cannot be given in on Spurdari according to the new section.
Okay, sir. So I think that has been cleared out. Now, talking about the same, I think what we were talking about yesterday about 999.9 grams and poppy husk. So it says the judicial officer is referring to a case of Mohanlal judgment that says that sampling is to be taken in the presence and the supervision of the magistrate. And now,
Yes.
if the recovery is of 990 grams of poppy husk, which is a small quantity.
Yes.
Also, now since sampling is a part of investigation, yeah, sorry, sir. I think there was an internet problem. So, the magistrate who would be the person who has taken the sampling, also. Now, since sampling is a part of investigation, don't you think that it would not be prudent for the same judge to try the case as the IO has B's question about sampling process in the cross?
See, here, yes, I have understood the question. See, so far as a small quantity is concerned, only this thing will come into picture at that time. If it is a case of non-commercial or commercial quantity, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible,
Hello.
Sir.
I don't know why it's showing me in the back. Okay, thank you. So I will continue. When it is a case of commercial or non-commercial quantity, the case after that will go to the special judge who will be trying the case. Okay. But yes, if it is a small quantity and sampling is done, see, the taking of the samples should be only in the presence of the magistrate. He is to certify the inventory. He is to certify the sampling, certify the pictures. But he is not to take the samples himself. Try to look into this fact particularly. It is all is done by the police, but in the presence of magistrate to lend authenticity. Yes, he can try the case, but it will be prudent if he writes down to the CJM that since I have taken the sample, samples have been taken in my presence in my court, it will be prudent to mark this case to someone. There is no harm, but there is no bar in trying that case by that magistrate in whose court the samples have been taken. Because otherwise, say there are 90 cases in which in one police station time and again the magistrate is taking the samples and all are of small quantity. Then to transfer those 90 cases and make an application to CJM in all cases that since the sampling was done in this small quantity case in my court it should be transferred, that does not appeal to logics. And moreover, he is not a witness. He is only certifying that. So he can try that case.
So, sir, I'm combining two questions together.
Yes, please.
First question is, in case the case property produced in the court found less than as mentioned in the inventory during the measurement,
one part. Okay. This is one part, no? This is one part of the question.
No. So this is one part of the question, that there is a difference of the quantity mentioned during the inventory, and when the inventory was brought in the court, there's a difference of measurement, and the argument is pleading that it is due to the moisture. That is one question, and the second question is that can the clerical errors be corrected?
No, this is a very relevant question, and it generally happens in some of the cases. I will tell you now. Say coffee plants have been taken into possession.
So
at the time when the plants were taken into possession, the weighment was done. It comes to 20 kilograms or say 25 kilograms. Now the leaves will definitely lose some moisture depending upon the weather. It may not be losing say more than 5 grams or 10 grams in winter, too cold, chilled winter. But if it is scorchy heat weather, when the temperature up to 45 or 43 degrees centigrade, then definitely just in one day, when the weighment at the spot is done, inventory is prepared, and when it is produced before the court, it is bound to lose the moisture to the extent of maybe 1 kg because water will be dried up.
Right.
Now, in that case, the court should be considerate to write it down in the order that when the weighment was done in the court by the IO, it came to 19 kilos instead of 20 kilograms. Or say it is for 25, we will pass on to the non-commercial quantity. And now today is 21 kilograms. This appears to be due to the loss of the moisture as the leaves which are there taken out from they are crushed or they are drooping, meaning thereby moisture has been lost. So this order can be passed in the on the court file. And it should not be taken into account at the time of case decision that the weighment was wrong. And now the clerical error, as you have said that. Now sometimes there are differences in these scales. I think we have experienced several times that even if at the same time we do our weight on one scale and then on the other weighing machine, there may be a marginal difference of say 1 kilo or half kg. Right, because all the machines are not set to that extent. But yes, if in a case the weighing scales are brought by the IO and those are the same scales with which the weighment was done. See, this is very material. And that is why it is generally said that IO should arrange for the scales in the court himself. This is then yes, of course, if there is clerical error, that cannot be changed. This may be explained. But that will make the inventory wrong.
Yes.
If the clerical error, because this is not the clerical error as mentioned in CRPC, which can be corrected.
Right.
So this is a clerical error which goes to the root of the case because the right of the accused is involved in that. I think so. I think so.
Sir, certainly, sir. Now, sir, moving to the strip medicine which contain banned substances. Now, the question is there are two aspects to this question. One is how to take samples in case of strip medicines which contain banned substances. That is one part of it. That how can we take the samples of our strip medicines? So, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I am hearing you.
Okay. So the first question is that how to take samples in case of strip medicines which contain bad substances. That's one part of it. And second part is when we are taking the sample of the intoxicant tablets or the banned strip tablets, if let's suppose there are 12, should we only send two strips for analysis, or should we and not send the remaining one? Would it be right or not? Should we send the entire all the 12 strips, or should we only send two for the sample?
Very I can say important and pertinent question. You know why I am saying so?
So
what happens? So there is echo which is coming. Hello.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, I am hearing you, but the voice is coming back to me from
Is it any better?
Audio.
Is it any better? Just a minute. So try now.
Anyhow, I continue. Now it is gone. No, I will try to answer it in very detail and giving you various examples, officers. Now, first question is that suppose a strip is there of contraband or a psychotropic substance or a drug which is banned under NDPS Act. Now, if these strips are 10 strips recovered, all the 10 strips are the same with same batch number, same lot number, same manufacturing date. Now, these are the three things. Same batch number, lot number. So, there are two things, batch number and lot number. If lot differs, batch is same, then it is to be taken in a different way. But when batch and lot are same, there is a different way. Now, says there are 10 steps with same batch number and same, even sending of 10 tablets. That is one step to the chemical laboratory will suffice. But it will have to be written. It will have to be written that all the 10 strips which have been recovered from this accused bear the batch number, lot number, and the company number, name and the drug name as this and this. So one sample is being sent as they are identical. Then if sometimes a weight is done, then also there is a different procedure. But the strip of 10 tablets can be sent. But now, if lot number and batch number are differing, medicine is the same, salt is same, company is same, then from both, if there are two batch numbers, two lot numbers, then different lot numbers should be sent by different step. Meaning thereby, then two steps will have to be sent. One of lot number, batch number one part, one of the other part. Those are to be sent to the chemical examiner as samples. That should be taken as samples. But now question arises, if there are loose tablets.
Right, sir.
Now why I'm saying so.
Question already. Yeah.
I will answer myself because this is very relevant. There are loose tablets.
Sir.
Loose tablets, one capsules green and white, the other 500 capsules red and white, the third is yellow and white. I will take three packets, each containing 500 capsules. Now, sometimes court is dilemma how to deal with, because if we take all the three, it comes to commercial quantity. Now, if 10 capsules from each are sent to the chemical laboratory, then
Laboratory.
the accused, my voice is breaking,
No, sir, it's
or
okay.
I'm audible.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay,
You're
I will
audible, sir.
continue. Thank you. Then the accused may take the plea that only 10 samples, the 10 capsules were sent, and 10 from the other and 10 from the third, which has come to be salt this. And as per the schedule, they are falling under small quantity, total drug content even. So I should not be convicted for possession of commercial quantity. I can be sentenced only for possession of small quantity.
Small quantity.
But now, what is that to be done by the court in such cases? Minimum, that number of capsules from each packet should be sent as sample to the chemical examiner, that the person cannot wriggle out from the commercial quantity of that thing.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Or I should make it more clear.
If you, I think if you can just
Yes,
give
yes,
one
it
more
can be.
example of this, that'll be
Yes. Now say
sure.
there is a salt which is in capsules, and those capsules are say ciproxivon or alprazolam, which are banned salts under NDPS Act also. Now,
Sure.
10 capsules which are coming to total weight, which falls in small quantity. 11 to 50 are there in the non-commercial quantity, and 51 or 50 are and above are the commercial quantity. Then the samples should be taken minimum of 50 capsules from each packet.
Okay.
Minimum 50 capsules, because tomorrow, if the results comes from the chemical laboratory that all the 50 capsules which have been sent for testing contains alprazole, then he cannot wriggle out from the commercial quantity.
Commercial quantity part.
Otherwise, he can say, sir, only 10 capsules were sent, and only, yes, I admit there were 10 capsules. It is my bad luck that only those capsules were picked up. Rest is only as white paper powder.
Yes.
Then court cannot send the sample subsequently at the end of the trial.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So this is the very material part, which I will
Mm.
appreciate the person who has made this question, that this
Yes.
is very material. How to take this sampling? How to do this? Get the sampling done. How to get the sampling done by the IO? Because IO will try to take 10 capsule ले लेने हैं, sir. No.
Anji.
Wait, and now if the commercial quantity of that salt which you say that it is 2 kg, bring that number of capsules out of these packets which become 2 kg and then send it. It is for the laboratory to test all capsules and report. It is their job.
Makes sense. I think so. This is, I think, wonderfully explained. I think the number, especially the 500 number and sending 50, I think that example, I think, does clear out the question.
Thank you.
So, moving to the next one, sir. The question is that what would be done if the magistrate does not have a seal at the time of preparation of inventory?
Yes, this is also very, but I have generally advised to the officers that you should get your seal prepared. That you don't know when the sampling is there to be done in your court. So get your seal prepared. But now the question is, if the officer, pardon?
I said the worst case scenario, if they don't have the seal.
Yes, well, that is, I'm coming to that part. I'm coming to that part. Now say an officer is just appointed or just transferred to some other place. He does not have his own seal of that court. Then he can request the CJM in writing that please send me the seal, as I have to seal the property which is there has been brought by the IO or the senior sub-judge from the Helmut, it can be called, or in any case, if it is not there, then you can ask the IO to seal with his seal. It looks odd sometimes that IO asked to affix his own seal, which he is having a sort of ring type or otherwise a key type. There do two types of rings seals are there. One is of key type and one is of ring type.
Okay.
Now he can ask the IO to seal it with his own seal, and thereafter he is to certify the sample chit, sample seal which will be prepared, and then he can ask the IO, okay, leave your seal here in the court, in lock and key of the court, and you can get it back when you deposit the sample. That's all.
Yes, that can be done. Exactly.
That will be the most effective way. If there is no seal, there is no senior subject seal, there is no CJM seal. Okay, fix your seal, put a seal impression on the chit. I will certify that, give the seal to the court, and make an order. That seal has been retained by the court, and he is asked to take it back after. No, see why? He will get prepared another, or he can use the seal of some other munshi. If necessity arises, but yes, that seal will be under the lock and key of the court, which after till which date the sealing is essential, is relevant till the deposit of the sample is there with the chemical examiner, so that it cannot be tampered with. Now, if after showing the road certificate that, sir, I have deposited it, now please give me the seal back in writing, and that is ordered to be returned, there is no harm in it. So every situation should be dealt with the most logic effect that is to be done or required at that scenario. So I have just given two examples.
No, so I think this does explain, and wonderfully explained. I think the option that you're given, that the sub-judge or the CJM sir, and or if none of that works, IO's seals can be taken. So I think that's all the possibilities that are there.
Last option.
Last option.
Yes, and you also
touched base. Yes.
Now see, there are two magistrates at a station. The other magistrate is having a seal. It can be ordered that the seal of the magistrate such and such has been brought, and the articles are ordered to be sealed on this with this seal.
So,
and moreover, whenever seal is prepared, sample seal chit is prepared. Whenever sample seal chit is prepared, which is affixed to the form M-Unnati, I will say that should also be signed by the magistrate and stamped, so that it cannot be changed. It can be signed also by the magistrate, certified that this is a certificate, that this is a seal impression, because then there will be no problem in the link. When link is to be proved, it is very interconnected and difficult. So they can ward it off by signing the chit and may pass an order that I have signed the chit also, certified it.
So moving to the next question. Sorry. The question is, if there is some difference in the inventory prepared by police and the order passed by the magistrate, and can the order passed by the magistrate be corrected later on?
Again, same answer, no.
No. So
no. Because see, the order is passed at the time when first inventory has been brought to the court, and secondly, second inventory is prepared in the court by him after the samples are taken. Then there should not be any discrepancy. And if there is some correction subsequently, it will lead to the making the case doubtful, and magistrate or the officer whosoever tampers with that judicial record. It will, I will say that it is tampering with the judicial record. If the application is made, then it is to be decided judiciously. But if the correction is made of own, then it is tampering with the judicial record. It may be by the judge himself, magistrate himself. Yes, but if it is corrected at that very time, now see, error is possible because it is human. To err is human, I will say. Yes, if it is that is done, immediately thereafter below that order, without deleting it. Now this is very important. Without deleting it, again under that order, it can be written that it has been pointed out to me that this is not so, or it has been inadvertently written that instead of PS, the impression of the seal, DS has been written, which is probably due to overhearing by the person who was getting typing it. So it is corrected. It be read as PS instead of DS. Then again signature.
Yeah.
But there should not be any deletion. If deletion is in the order, that can be argued by the accused. Okay, why this has been done?
So.
Because there was change in some sampling, and that is why it has been changed simultaneously. So this can impute something to the court, which I don't want that it should ever be imputed.
So certainly. Sir, I think there's one. It's not a question, but it's a statement, and I would like to have your opinion on this. I think the statement is. While drawing samples before magistrate, previous seal is to be broken and representative samples are to be drawn. Therefore, it is not mandatory for magistrate to get the contraband photographed with broken seal as well as showing it color, texture, etc. for future references. Because bulk is to be destroyed and accused will have no right to get the third sample from bulk retested. Is that true, sir?
See, photographs, taking of the photographs, broken seal, and then the sealing of the material again is why relevant. Because if we read section 52, it is disposal of accused and the case property. But if we read 52A, it is disposal of case property only. And here in 52A, accused does not figure because whatever has been stated to be done by the court and the IO in the lines which are there in 52A is in between the court and the IO. Though accused is to be present there on the very first day. But now, these seals broken, first, what should be done? First, seals broken should be there. A seal should be there as inventory has come only of the material which has come under seals. Then it should be ordered to be opened. After opening the seals, it should be weighed again in the court. Then sampling should be done. Then sealing should be got done from the IO. Then photographs of what earlier packet when the seals were produced there to the total packet, and the seals which were taken subsequently applied on the parcels and the bulk should be taken, because they when they will be certified, they will see will be the primary evidence. There are three things which are primary evidence, which are photographs, certified inventory, and the representative sample. Now, representative sample which is there, which has been taken into judicial malkhana, that will be taken as representative sample and primary evidence if subsequently the question arises that where is the case property? I said at the relevant time that when the case property has been disposed of, only then the these three things will become primary evidence.
So,
That not serve as primary evidence, we produce in the court. Irrespective of the fact, then production of these three things will not serve the purpose. Accused can take the plea, and this has been so held that yes, however, in the Supreme Court the case that to produce 33 bags each of 100 kg is a big property that can be excused. But say if it is a truckload, or then it can be excused, then the property can be produced, and it will simultaneously be said that if so, it can be brought to the court, if so desired. But
so,
can then
uh,
original case be produced if it is not disposed of. So this statement is not correct to this extent. Otherwise, it's correct.
okay. So this statement has some, I think some ifs and buts that are also has to go
If
with it.
ifs and buts.
Yes.
Yes, and buts, ifs and buts.
Sir, I'll move to the next question. I hope you can hear me,
Please.
sir.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'll move to the next question. It is about the bail matter. The question is that if the result of FSL is not out, can a court decline the default bail of the accused on the 61st day on the very premise that it is the FSL report which will determine the category of the recovered quantity of the contraband and hence time within which the challan is to be presented?
So when it was asked,
Sir, you're not audible, sir.
can move an
Mehta sir, your voice is not audible right now.
Hanji.
Sir, just if you can just, I think just switch off your
What has
video.
happened, you know?
No, it is okay now. It is okay now, sir. I think you can switch off the video, sir. You can switch off your video, and that will save some bandwidth. Yes, sir.
Now it is okay. No.
It is yes.
Audible. No, I have yesterday. I think the officer I have answered it when the question was probably, if I'm not wrong, that this can move for
Mehta sir, I think there's again some problem with the audio.
Then what is should I
Can you hear me now, sir? So can you hear me? Mehta sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Now we can hear you, sir. Sir, please, if you can answer the question.
But what is coming? Echo is coming. It is coming back to me.
I will take care of that, sir. You can start talking. I'll take care of that, sir.
Thank you. Now, I have answered this question that when the police can get the extension in time and that application moved, then what is the right of the accused? Now, see, when the challan has not been the prescribed period, can be carried out. The accused, see, is definitely to be released by default bail as per section 36A and Schedule 1672 of CRPC, and on the 61st day Rather, for 61st day, the magistrate cannot remand the accused. Because what is the wording in 1672 explanation 1 that after the expiry of the period, the magistrate cannot send him to custody except for furnishing, making him unable to furnish bail bonds. Now, if on 61st day he furnishes the bail bonds and by that charge represent the application, then, but of course, after giving the notice to EPP, he can be released on 61st day. But yes, if the prosecution is able to show that we have moved an application before the expiry of 60th day, say on 58th day, that we need extension of time, then first the court has to answer or dispose of that application for extension of time, and only then in case, oh, the right of accused will come into picture. Am I clear, sir? Am I clear, sir?
Sorry, sir, my mic was muted. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So moving to the next question, whether money recovered during personal search can be given on superdari?
See, it can be, but I think an accused who is, I will claim him that who is full will claim that, because that is going to prove one of the documents of the police that yes, he was present there and this money was recovered from him after the seizure of the contract. So he will not give a chance. He will try to claim it only at the end of the trial if he is acquitted. I think so. But yes, personal search articles can be given depending upon the, but that is, see, evidence. So generally the courts are reluctant, and accused are also not demanding in such cases. Yes, in murder case he can claim because arrest is afterwards. In cases under 326, 307, he claim, but he will not claim in NDPS Act cases. I have not seen any person in my life, and when I was in courts as district attorney, that any person has made any application for return of the Jamaat al-Rashid during cases or in this case.
So I think members are asking all questions that is coming on their mind, and I think that is what the purpose of this webinar is all about. So, and I think we are trying to.
I am here, sir. I am here comfortably. I am here.
Now, sir, moving to the next question, sir. It says if recovery in non-compliance of Section 50 is bad in law, example, preparation of a joint consent memo, etc., then whether on that ground, period of prosecution for police remand of accused can be declined. Should I repeat the question, sir?
No, I am just, I think the question is that when the police remand is asked and the court sees that there is a consent memo.
Yes, sir.
Then whether police can be refused,
yes,
remand
sir.
can be refused. This is the question precisely.
This is the question, sir.
See, this is the question. No, see, maybe in the procedure which makes the on as it is fatal to, as has been held in the which we have discussed in Vijay Singh and Vijay Singh, Chanduba, Jadeja and others. That is that when the consent memo is joint consent memo, which is not permitted by one's case, then that recovery will definitely be vitiated. Trial to that effect is vitiated. At the time of remand, certain different things are to be seen. it is not that those documents can be relied upon that it will be fatal to joint consent memo has been prepared. That is the material which is to be appreciated at the time of appreciation. Please officers try to understand the document which is to be appreciated at the time of appreciation of the evidence, not at the time of remand when only the ground on which the custody of the police is required by the process is to be granted. This can be weighed in the mind as a thing which has not been done correctly, procedurally correct, but that will not at the first instance be a ground for rejecting the police remand. There are see, when we talk of police remand, I will say that why police remand is to be given and when police remand is to be given. If we go to the High Court rules and orders and also to the police rules, a good and sufficient cause is to be developed, and it is shown that for good and sufficient cause for which the investigation is required is to be shown to the court. Then at that stage, that is not. I think I have answered the question.
So the last sentence, if you could repeat the last sentence, that was not clear, sir. Just the last sentence.
That was seen whether sufficient good reason has been established by the police, and for that the body of accused is to be handed over to the court for further investigation or for the say interrogating him or say finding out some material or some there is some statement that I can get the more recovery from this person or get this person or some statement is made. Not be the only sole ground for refusal of the police remand. It can be appreciated at the time of the case by appreciation.
So with your permission, I'd like to go for the next question. Before I go for the next question, so I'll just check the audio one more time with you, sir. So can you say something? Let's just check that so that your audio is also visible, because I think we're having a breakage with your audio. Can you hear me, sir? Yeah, am I audible to you?
Mr. Yes, okay. You're audible. And Mr. Chetan, to be honest, I'm enjoying the session. I'm enjoying the questions which are being put by the officers.
Sir.
Because these questions are actually these questions which are being put actually which are there, which comes in mind when they are present in the court.
Exactly.
These are those questions. These are those questions, practical questions.
So I think that's what the webinar is makes webinars more interesting, because we talk about the theory part and then the practical aspect also comes in, and
yes,
I think that's what we are trying to achieve.
And that is why today I was expecting it that more questions will be there on 52A because of the fact that this is such a part in which practical part is involved. I just cut short to save the time 5 minutes earlier.
Yes, sir. We still have a lot of questions right now. I can totally relate to what you're saying. And I think I'll not waste time. I'll just move to the next question, sir. Sir, the question is: police official produced the police official produced the accused, but not the case property in the court. Police official said that they took the sample before the Tehsildar and sealed those samples. What would the court do in this at that time?
See, the law does not that should produce the recovery material before the sale. It is the court, and court means judicial court. When they produce the person for the remand at the first date, the sample is to be taken on the first date, because the section 52 says the court. And the first remand as per 36 AB is by the magistrate. And
Okay.
subsequently, if he feels that he is a magistrate not having the jurisdiction, he cannot remand the person beyond 15 days. He is to send it to the person authorized. So that is why the order is to be passed by the magistrate that from the next date he be produced before the court of special judge who is authorized to entertain this case. So that will be of no avail. The case property have to be produced.
So basically,
Because
anything which is
against the law. It is against.
so Tehsildar sealing the
Is not
sample before
counted.
Tehsildar is not counted.
It is not counted.
So moving to the
I
next
think
question.
no police officer is doing it. At least in Punjab, Haryana, UT, and Delhi also, I think.
But in case they do it, we know exactly what needs to be done now.
Yes.
So now, sir, the question is, if authorized, competent officer does not come in the court, does not get presented in the court, and move application for certification of inventory under Section 52A, but some other subordinate police officer makes such application, as well as application for police remand of accused, then whether on that ground police remand can be declined or not.
See, it is more a question of a remand. If I'm focusing on the.
It is about the remand, sir, but I think the competent officer is not coming in the court.
Remand.
And he has.
No,
Yeah.
I will answer.
Sir,
But I am
sir.
just focusing on that. It is
On the
in
remand.
section 1, yes, on 167, that SHO or the IO, if he is not below the rank of sub-inspector, SHO or IO, investigating officer of the case, if he is not below the rank of SI, they can forward it to the court. Now here in NDPS Act, another thing creeps in, and that is that after the recovery, whatever has been recovered along with the accused is to be produced before the SHO as per Section 52. Right?
So
Only the SHO who is now in charge of the case and the to the court. He is only the person. But yes, forwarding does not mean that he should come in person to the court. He can send some other person below him who is IO of that case. That I am forwarding this application, you go to court. But in case of remand, when we come to remand part, if the SHO and that person is not forwarding that application, remand can be refused. And it was refused by one of the magistrates in Hodal police station. Of Hodal police station, remand was refused, and refusal can be there, that it has not been forwarded by the competent person.
So
Yes, please.
So now this question is in reference to the divisional bench judgment from PNH High Court, which is the case of Govinder Singh case. And the officer is asking a question that in that case, it was said that the vehicle impounded under NDPS Act cases can and should be released on superdari by special judge.
I know. This was the question coming up because I said it that now.
Yes.
See.
But now the question is, do we have any contrary judgment from our own High Court?
No, there is no contrary judgment to that, because once this judgment is there, the vehicles are being released and nobody goes to the High Court. But yes, if somebody Now, I think the judgment has not discussed this aspect that it is to be confiscated. It is to be confiscated. When one reads the total, see, sections which are there involved, 52A, then 66, otherwise disposal, then one comes to know that yes, this cannot be released. No, see, okay, you can have this spurdari, but now the vehicle is to be confiscated to the state if conviction is there. And if he says that I have sold, it has been damaged, at least maximum he will give the spurdari amount and will escape. How the confiscation will be there? No, it is not there that the bond is taken, say a truck is there of say 40 lakhs and the amount taken of the surety is 50 lakhs or 1 crore. He will give 20 lakhs, 20,000, 50,000 kg here is. I have sold that truck because he knows that since conviction is there, it is to be confiscated. So I think matter should be again taken up by the High Court in some other case. Definitely that is not to be reviewed or opened up, but see, this aspect should be considered. I know that there is an authority and that is after this amendment. I also know that.
So, okay. So another question, it talks about that in regards to the aspect
just
of
one minute, just 1 minute. I think again, time and again the phone is coming. Anyhow, we continue.
Okay, sir. Sir, now this is in aspect to the change of inventory. So by saying that after the accused and the case stands sent to the learned special court, the magisterial court is rendered sanctus officio and the ceases to exercise jurisdiction over the issue. Any further guidance on this? Well, do we have some?
See, for the inventory part, I agree with the statement which has been said by the officer that once case has been during the investigation part also, because see, inventory is to be prepared on the first day when this sampling is done, representative sample is taken, and all that other things are done. That and in order of remand, it is further made that say 2 days police remand is given or 2 days judicial remand is given, that then after this date he be produced special judge, special court. Thereafter, that person, that court of magistrate will become functus officio. He cannot add a word in the inventory. He has no locus standi to pass any order regarding the inventory, regarding the case property. Every order whichsoever will have to be passed by the special judge.
So that this brings us to the last question of the session. The question is about, can the second representative sample be ordered to be kept in the Malkhana of the police station, or it is mandatory to keep the same in judicial Malkhana?
See, it is mandatory to keep it in judicial Malkhana. I will, in short, I will. So far as the sample, say, I will elaborate with one example. Say there are 3 parcels which have been recovered from the accused. Say 1 kilogram of opium. Now 2 samples will be of each parcel. Parcel A, A1, A2, parcel B, B1, B2, parcel C1, C2. All the A1, B1, C1 will be representative sample, and sample A2 B2, C2 will be samples which have to be sent to the chemical examiner. Now, only these 3 samples will be given to the IO along with the bulk case property to keep disposal area by the disposal committee. But now the samples which are A1, B1, C1 representative samples, those are to be kept in judicial malkhana because they are in the charge of the court. They are not to be given to the police.
So, I think, sir, we've just got one more question. Sir, I believe there is a form number 29.
Yes, M29.
Yeah, M29. And the officer is asking that, form where form number 29 has been borrowed as NDPS Act is silent regarding the same. From where? Basically, they are asking about from where the form number 29 has been borrowed.
See, form number M29 actually in excise cases. This is a docket actually. This is a docket which is to be sent to the chemical examiner for sending him to the samples of the drug or the excise bottles, extra everything to give the opinion on that. The columns, if I don't have the M-Unati with me, I can explain it with regard to the documents. Case FCR number, name of the accused, then case under section, police station, everything is to be written in it. And then the sample chit is to be fixed on it. That this is a sample chit with which the samples have been. Below that, there is a column which says that it is forwarded by SSP and the material is sent to chemical examiner through constable, head constable, ASI such and such, number such and such. This is a sort of docket which is sent. It is, since it was being used in Excise Act, so they have also used it. It is a docket, and that is why now I have said that now this M-Unati is to be completed in the court. Because what is the seal which is being sent to the chemical examiner? It is that seal which will be ordered by the court to fix on the sample.
Yes.
Now, that sample seal is to be tallied with the chit, sample seal chit, by the chemical examiner before opining and before opening that. And invariably in all the cases, the report of the chemical examiner is on the reverse of form M-Unati. If that part is not accommodating whole of the report, then subsequently a white paper can be used. But the report will start from the reverse of the M-Unati form, that I have compared the sample seal chits with the seal on the samples and certify that seals were not broken and were intact and tallied with the same. And this is the end of the matter, as he discussed yesterday in Mohanlal's case, which said that 2015, that yes, when this is there, no question, it is complete set that the sample has reached as it was sealed to the chemical laboratory. And it is the same which was tested by the laboratory. So this is with regard to this.
Perfect, sir. Sir, I think now the questions have been over. I can I request you to come on the video if that is okay, sir? And we will then conclude the session and say thanks to everyone.
So I have come, I think.
Yes, you have come, sir. Sir, I think wonderful session, and I think the question was so much. I think it's 1:30 already. I think it's 2-hour session today. So
Great.
you're right. It will take a lot of people would have a lot of questions. So I think that is exactly
Still there are several doubts in my mind and in the mind of the officers also, which they have not come up.
I'm sure so the Academy is there to answer all these questions even after the webinar gets over.
Yes, we are here.
Yes, the members can obviously reach out to you through the Academy, and this conversation can be taken offline after this webinar is over. So,
Yes.
sir, I think it's time to thank all our participants who have taken out time.
I'm thankful.
Sir. So on behalf of Chandigarh Judicial Academy and on behalf of Mr. Pradeep Mehta, sir, I, Chetan Singh Gill, would like to thank to all the participants from Punjab and Haryana District Courts, various districts, who had taken out time in the working hours and joined during the session. My apologies for the technical issues. We'll try to fix it. There's certain things which are beyond our control. Technology is one sometimes. But if in case your questions, you still have questions, like I said a few minutes back, you can reach out to the Academy. Pradeep Mehta sir is a faculty member. I'm sure everyone knows Pradeep Mehta sir. So he would be, you can reach out to me. It's not that it's only through webinar you can talk to me. With that, thank you so much for coming over here. Thank you so much for spending time. And I, Chetan Singh Gill, will say thanks and end the session now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chetan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Grateful.
Sir.